Ladies and treasure hunters, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet, and guy who fucked your mum last night. This is the Kill You're in a Loser show. Let's fucking go. Joined with my co-host, Imogen. Imogen Esperanto Smith is her full name.
None of those last two weren't correct.
Okay, and so we're going to talk about geocaching. We actually recorded this podcast. We did this as a podcast.
A few months ago.
And the phone didn't record, or I did something wrong, or we got all the way through, and I was like, oh, baby. It was like a 40-minute podcast or half an hour, and I was like, oh, baby.
It was
that
good too.
I know, it was really good. And so this is going to be dog shit now, because you have in your head, like, the memory of how good that podcast was, and you almost hold yourself to that standard, and then you're like, I'm going to fall short, because a lot of that was off the cuff. I'm going to fall short, so, like, why try? So this is us not trying. We're going to talk about geocaching. For those of you who don't know what geocaching is, it's literally treasure hunting. So outside right now, there are hundreds, potentially thousands in your area of little treasures that are hidden everywhere that you would have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about until you go find one. There are apps that you can use to, connect to these maps, basically, that show you where these treasures are. One that I use is called CGeo. So the letter C, G, E, O. That's on Android, it's on Apple. You can also go to geocaching.com, geocaching, geocaching.com. There's a bunch of different, like geocaching.net is another one. There's a bunch of places that you can go. And they basically show you a map of where these little treasures are hidden. And what you do is you go to that location. It will like show you where to go, and there'll be a clue sometimes, or sometimes there's no clue whatsoever, and you're just looking in that general area. And it's accurate to within like 10 meters, like a couple of feet. What is that in feet? Like 20, 30 feet. And so you know the rough area of where it's hidden. And then you have to find this fucking treasure. And it's usually like a small container, sometimes big ass containers.
Yeah, and you get little clues as to like what size it is or where it might be.
Yeah. But it's fun to do it without clues. So if you can't find it, if you're looking for half an hour and you can't find it, you can then look up, like there's clues included with each treasure. If you still can't find it, there's sometimes images that give you like a bit more of a clue. If you still can't fucking find it, there's a like comment section of everyone that's found them. Excuse me, I'm fucking dying here. I'm dying because I'm dying from excitement of going geocaching. And so there's comments, like people leave comments and say, oh, this was a hard one. It was up in the tree. And then you go, oh, fuck that tree. Maybe it's in that tree. So, but you're a dirty fucking cheating scumbag if you do that. I've personally done that a few times. So I'll fully be right there with you when we go to hell together. We can hold hands. But yeah, generally speaking, the less clues that you steal, the less clues that you use, the more of a, like, I'd say the more of like a worthy human being you are.
Okay.
Like, you don't deserve to go to hell, is how I'd phrase that. So,
and the cool thing about it is that it's like, so when we say treasures, quite often what it is, it's like a little case.
Yeah, we haven't actually said what it is.
Or a little capsule or a little enclosure. Sometimes when they're really, really small, it's something that's only like that big and it'll be a tiny...
Something you could probably stick up your ass if you wanted to.
A little container, or sometimes it's like lunchbox size, so like quite a bit bigger. And usually what's in it is a roll of paper where everyone who's found that one before writes their name and usually the date. And then
like a little log.
Yeah, of who's found it. So you can see when the last time somebody found it was. And then sometimes if the box or the capsule is big enough, people will leave like little trinkety things. So like,
what's a trinkety thing?
My understanding is it's basically just whatever you have on you. So whether that's like a pin or a hair tie or...
Which most of my audience are going to have, sure. All of my audience are going to have hair ties and bobby pins. Yep, definitely relevant. Good shout there, Imogen.
I don't know, basically whatever's in your pocket is generally what...
My audience are going to have Bitcoins in their pocket and condoms and what else?
I've seen a tampon in a geocache before.
Mate, do you know who you're talking to here? Why am my audience going to have tampons?
Well,
so you put shit that you have in your pocket, you put something in the container, and you take something out. That was the bit that you didn't...
If they're doing it with... So that's the next thing, is that it is a fun thing to do with girls or on dates. So if they're with a girl, they might have a tampon or a hair tie or a bobby pin.
Perhaps. Yeah, this is a fun activity to do on a date. I did a shitload of this back in the early days when I was getting good at, having sexual intercourse. I went on a bunch of dates where I would take the girl geocaching, And so if you're going to do that, I would recommend that you download the app or go on geocaching.com. All of this is free, by the way. You don't have to pay. Although some websites you do have to pay to get access to more, like a bigger map and stuff like that. I don't personally pay, so you can do it for free. I would recommend that you go and find a couple of these yourself, and then you take a girl on a date. You take her to a location where you've already found one. And so then, you're not both searching there for 45 minutes and you can't find something and you're like, well, this is a shit date. Yeah. You give her 5 or 10 minutes to find it. You give her some clues. She'll be getting kind of like, oh, am I close? Am I close? Am I close? She's getting excited. If she really can't find it, maybe you're dating a retard or something, she really can't fucking find it, then just give her a hint and just say like, all right, it's down low, or, it's up high, or you're close, warmer, and then that moment where she finds it, I always found that really fun.
Yeah. It's exciting. It is like you said, it's treasure hunting. And when you find it, it's like, oh, it's
and
cool.
Then right when she finds it, you give her a fucking kiss. You just grab her and kiss the fucking shit out of her and fuck her right there in the alleyway or in the park or wherever you are right now. Because she's feeling excitement, right? So you just grab her and fuck the shit out of her. I've told you this. I did used to kiss them like right at that moment. Like that was my little that was my little game plan. That was my little smooth moves. And they'd kiss you and they'd be all excited and you're like, all right, babe, now let's go fucking... I don't know, fuck each... I was so nervous, so I'd never invite them back to my place. I'd kiss them, but then I'd just be like, we're going to just keep geocaching now because I'm too scared to invite you back to my place and have sex with you. We'll do that next date or the next date. But yeah, it's fun for dates. It's really fun for dates.
Yeah, and most people haven't heard of it. It's like... And I'm surprised at how many people do it and how many that are out there, yet how few people know about it.
Yeah. Like literally, guys, go onto geocaching.com right now. Look at the fucking map. It's going to blow your mind. There's going to be like 1,000 that you could walk to or drive to in your local area. Like 1,000 of these hidden treasures. And you're going to look at the map and be like...
Yeah, you would have walked past it like every day and never known.
Yeah. And then when you go find them, some of them are like really fucking cool to find, especially if you live in a city. The ones that are hidden in the city, like the center of the city, like fucking New York. I'm sure there's some crazy ones in New York. Like... You have to be almost on a stealth mission to find them. You're sort of like, because you don't want other people to see you find them because then they might steal them. That's kind of like part of, not the rules, but it's kind of the unwritten rules of this stuff is that you don't want normies to see you doing it. Also, or if you're a Harry Potter fan, you don't want muggles to see you.
Also, you don't necessarily want to look like a bit of a psycho, like looking under things and...
Yeah, like trying to climb a tree and fucking looking on the ground.
If you're in public, it's the sort of thing that you kind of want to do without being too... obvious about it.
Yeah. And so you're on kind of a stealth mission pretending that you're not looking for something, but you're looking for something. And then when you find it, you got to like sneakily grab it and then like, oh, look, I found it. And then kind of sneak it back in and put it back in its hiding place. Because after you find this shit, maybe we didn't make this clear, you pull the box out or the container or whatever it is. It's got the little log. You write your name and date when you found it. Some of them, the bigger ones, you might take something out and you put a little trinket in there. You're supposed to put the box back. Like, you don't steal the fucking box because then the next person obviously takes it. But it is fun doing the stealth missions. Those were always my favorite ones. And you will find stuff and then it will blow your mind how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people will walk past this thing, especially in a city, and never know that it was there. And it almost feels like you're doing something, especially when you take a girl out to do this on a date or something, or do it with your fucking friends, do it by yourself. But I used to always like doing it on dates. It feels like you two are part of some like secret society. Yeah. And every girl I ever showed it to, including you, was like, how is this even fucking real? Like, this is like some childhood dream, like that there's treasure hidden everywhere. And there is, like every country, by the way, every country, every city has like hundreds of these things. Yeah. If not thousands.
I think it's very nice that people don't like steal them. Because
there's a very good like honor code. People are very good. Yeah, people are very fucking...
because I would have thought it's the sort of thing that would fall apart very quickly because...
And it doesn't.
No, and... I know that you've taken me to ones that have been there for years that you did a long time ago and then we would do it and it's still there and that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It very much feels like a part of a secret club.
Yeah, it was funny actually. We have this story in a different city. We went to this botanical gardens and we were looking for a particular geocache and we were trying to do, like we said, the thing where you're a little bit more stealthy. You don't make it super obvious that you're trying to find something because you will look very strange in the middle of the day.
You look like a fucking weirdo if you're like pulling rocks out and like looking in bricks and getting down on the ground, looking in drains. People come up to you and go like, have you lost something? Are you okay? Like, do you need help?
Yeah, but we're in this gardens and there was this other couple, I think, that were also being a little bit weird. and just like in this one section of the gardens.
The same section? Yeah.
Yeah, they were looking around everywhere and being strange. And at some point, I think we went up to them and said, "Are you geocaching?" And they were. And that was very cool. So we ended up all looking for it together.
And you found it,
I
right?
found it.
Yeah,
it was,
you little fuck.
It was in this like rock garden, and someone had bought a fake rock, hollowed
made of like styrofoam. So someone had got a piece of styrofoam and made it look like a rock, like painted it.
Hollowed it out, put the like the geocache underneath it, and then just put it in the rock garden.
Yeah.
Amongst all the rocks.
It legitimately just looked like a rock amongst 100 other rocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how you found that, because there was like 4 or 5 of us looking.
Yeah.
Between us and, because it wasn't a couple, it was like 3 of them or something, and we're all trying to find this thing. Yeah. And some of them are pretty fucking creative. Yeah. Some of them are really creative, and there's some really wild ones. Any of you who are fucking nerds, which let's be honest is all of you, there's some really cool fucking nerdy ones. So it will be like you go to a location and then you have to solve some math equations and, you know, count some numbers and do some cool shit like that. And that will give you some GPS coordinates. And then you go to that location. It's usually pretty close by, but you go to that location and then there'll be some more maths or something that you have to do. And then that will take you to another location. And then maybe at that location, there's like, I don't know, a statue that has like a plaque with some shit written on it. And the next clue will say, you know, take every second letter from every second line and add them all together and then work out what they equal in fucking binary or some shit, and then that's your next GPS coordinate. And so you're doing all this like wild shit for like half an hour, and then finally you get to the final location, and that's where the geocache will be hidden. So some of them are really cool, like that, really cryptic ones. There's ones where you have to solve all sorts of different puzzles, like on top of what I've just said. People get really fucking creative with it. And there's some wild ones. Okay, I'll tell you guys, go to like geocaching.com. I'll tell you where the craziest ones are hidden. If you look, move the map all the way down to fucking Antarctica, there's like 10 hidden in fucking Antarctica. Other weird ones, there is one on the International Space Station. I don't know how we're going to fucking find that, but there's one up there. People hide them in weird, wild places. So it's something that a lot of like people do. But unless you've ever done it, you'll have no fucking idea. And even us saying this to you guys, you'll be like, treasure hunt. Like, surely you guys are just talking about some cute little hobby. Go to geocaching.com and see how many thousands or tens of thousands are hidden in your area. Because I think that's what makes it fun. If we just say, oh, there's some hidden treasures and you can take a girl, you're like, oh, okay, fine. That sounds mildly interesting. I'm probably not going to do that, Andy. But if I say to you, in your location, if you look out on your street, there's a park that's like 2 minutes walk from us. There's 3 hidden in there. That's like literally just over there. Like I can see the park almost. And so if I say to you, there's some hidden literally where you walk every single day, now it's more interesting. You're like, oh, I might go check that out. You find it and you're like, oh my God, this shit's real. Like some cunt actually hid treasure where I live. Some psychopathic pirate hid treasure where I live. And it does really feel like a pirate thing. It feels very childlike in a good way. Yeah,
and I think that's a really fun energy to bring to a date.
Oh, for sure. It's the best thing you could do on a date, for sure. Other than sticking your penis in her, which, you know, you can just do that after. You can stick your penis in her while you geocache. Technically, if you did it doggy style, you could, as long as you hold on to her carefully, she could walk in front of you and you walk like, you hold her doggy style, like having sex with her. And just don't let your dick go out. It's hard to walk. I'll say it's
very
weird.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. But it feels good. Just don't come. It's very, she'll literally call you a beta male if you come while you do that. Like, it's very, unless you've done it for like 30 minutes. If you come in the first 30 minutes, she'll call you a beta male while you do that.
I don't actually know the answer to this, but how did you find out about geocaching? Because I know you introduced me to it.
I told you from a girl. Okay, so, I mean, this is a cool story. Maybe we should have led with this. Although we can say we were saving the best till last. Just like your mum. I always fuck your mum last. Actually, your mum's the worst, so I have her first. And then I fuck your sister. I don't know. So I was doing a photography project. This is when I had like social anxiety and all sorts of shit. And I decided to do a photography project. This was before my 1 photo a day 365 project. Just before that.
You did tell me about this, yeah.
Where you have to walk up to a stranger and have a conversation with them and ask to take their picture. I did 2 and then I was like, I can't keep doing this. This is way too scary. I could do it now, but at the time, like, fuck no. And so I did 2. The first person I ever did. So this was my first taste of approach anxiety. I stood there for like half an hour just like watching her, and she was like smiling, and she was sitting in the park, this really cute chick, and she was sitting in the park, and she had like an old, what do you call it? Like a spindle, like to spin like silk, but to make clothes. What's that called? Where you guys
Like
all
a
know what I'm
spinning
talking about.
wheel.
You're all fucking nerds. Yes, a spinning wheel.
Sure.
And it's got like a pedal. You click the pedal. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, I could just be a
Or
good.
like a weaving thing or something, right?
I want to know what this is called
A
because it's
loom?
gonna drive loom, fucking spindle.
When you weave, I
This
think it's
shit.
called a loom.
This shit. This shit. Here, look.
That's a
I'm gonna.
very
I'm gonna
quirky
show
thing
this.
to be
I'm gonna
doing in
show
a
this on
park.
the screen. How do we get this on the screen? How does technology work? Look at that. You guys can see that. This thing. Spinning yarn. This shit. The shit on the right. The thing on the right. That thing. Look at that. That's what she had. She's sitting in a park with that.
That's so
And I'm just
strange.
like, what the fuck is this chick doing, right? It was like, it was so cool that I was like, I have to, she has to be the one, the first person that I take a photo of and talk to. And I pussied out for like 30 minutes while she watched me and smiled at me. And I was there with my girlfriend at the time, one of my old exes. And she was trying to talk me into it, and I was like, I can't do this. And like, finally I just woke up and I'm like, hey, I know this is random. Like, basically we've been watching you for half an hour, but like, what the fuck, can I take a photo? And she's like super nice and shit. And so I'm like shaking. I'm like trying to hold the fucking camera, and I take a few photos, and I'm just I can't smile. I'm so awkward.
Yeah.
It was like the worst fucking experience ever, but I'm still glad I did it. Shout outs to any of you who are facing your own approach anxiety and thinking that you can't talk to women because you're too scared. Shut the fuck up and do it. Okay, I had to fucking do it. And so, complete lack of empathy there. You guys can do it. I love you guys. I trust you. And so I did that, and then I was like, what's your phone number or your email? Because I'll send you the picture once I've edited it. And so I did that. I sent her the picture. Actually, no. I lost her picture. I lost her phone number, sorry, and her email. I didn't write it down because I was so nervous or something. And so I just posted it on my Flickr. Like, I think I had told her what my Flickr was or something. But, like, you don't expect that to, like, the person's not going to fucking... But sure enough, like, a week later, there's a comment on my Flickr saying, hey, it was nice meeting you. This is me. Like, thank you for the lovely picture. And I was like, okay. And by the way, she was like an old woman, except she was like 20.
Do you still have this picture? I've never seen it.
Yeah, I do. Her name was Catherine, I think.
Why did you call a 20-year-old an old woman?
Because she acted like she had old woman energy.
To be fair, she was using a spinning wheel.
Yeah,
in a
she had
park,
old
so-
woman energy. She absolutely had fucking old woman energy. She was an absolute sweetheart of a human being, but she like had old woman energy. I'm gonna see if we can find this picture, and then I'll show it on screen if I can find it. And so she leaves a comment, and I was just like, "That's really nice of her." And so I wrote something back, like nothing came of that. And then from there, one of us reached out to the other or something. I can't fucking remember. Someone reached out to the other person, and we ended up, or she said something like, I'm going camping. Do you and your girlfriend want to come? Because we did talk to her for a little bit while I was taking a photo and shit. And I said, sure. We ended up being friends, like, and then she introduced us to geocaching. No, I don't have the picture. I would have taken it down. It'd be like on my computer somewhere, but I'm not going to bother finding it right now. Yeah, and so we ended up being friends from that. She showed us geocaching. I was like, she goes like, have you ever heard of geocaching? I'm like, no. And she's like, it's treasure hunting. And she shows me the map, and I'm like, fuck off. Like, what are you talking about? And she gets us to do our first one, and I was addicted immediately. I was like, this is insane. This is real. Like, how is this real? This isn't a prank. And so from there, I've tried to fucking build a cult of geocaching because it's good fun.
I should do this with some of my friends. We haven't done it in such a long time.
We haven't geocached in a while. When we go to a new location, like when we go on holidays, I will look on the map and see which ones are there. But we haven't, it's been a while since we've done that. Yeah, do it with your friends. Take your friends out, guys. I especially recommend doing this on a date. Like I said, go and find the actual geocache first. And so you know exactly where it is. Put your name in there. That can be fun. Like, write it on the piece of paper. And then when she finds it, you can be like, oh, look, who's that fucking handsome little bitch there? What's his name? Like fucking Smith or John. What's a normal name? Aquarius. What are these people's
The
names?
first name that came to my mind
Renee.
was Toby, and I know that's not a
Toby.
normal name. It's like a name for a
Who's
dog.
a name in my fucking audience? Tom. Renee.
Sure.
There's a guy called Renee.
Renee.
Yeah.
Renee's a girl.
That's not how you pronounce it there. Rene. It's a male. Hope it's a male.
Might be a girl. Renee's also a girl.
If that's a girl, no, it wouldn't be a girl.
Probably not, but
Anyway, go try this shit. It's a lot of fun.
it's free.
It's free. It's cool.
Why not?
Chicks will fucking get wet when you do it. Like, literally, she will be like sloshing around like she's like her boots are full of water in the rain or something, like quite literally dripping. You need to be careful that you keep the piece of paper away from her. Like, you write her name on the paper because you'll be so wet. But yeah, maybe get her to bring like a couple pairs of underwear or something, because it is like a lot of fun. Girls always have one-track minds. Hey, girls are always thinking about sex. Girls are so disgusting. Like, we should do a podcast on this at some point. Why girls are always thinking about sex, and men have to like try and go about life doing other things and, you know, building stuff, and women are just always wanting to get fucked all the time. Women are like one-track minds. It's really gross. True. It's really gross.
We don't have testosterone, so
it's really gross. I wish that women could just be a little more like, what would you call it? Well-rounded. Women always just want to have sex and gossip and make cupcakes.
I like
and
cupcakes.
Have cushions. See, case in point. All right, guys, go out there, crush your goals, go find some hidden treasure. If you guys have ever geocached before, leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment in the description. Fuck me. Leave a comment in the comment section. All right?
That's where they'll do it.
Yep. Don't fucking edit my description with your comment. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us if you've done it. If you go and try it, tell us if it's fun. If you don't try it, explain to me why. I want to know, like, literally, I want you to write a paragraph or two, explain to me why you're not going to do this. Yeah. And why I'm supposed to respect you after that.
Yeah, because if a girl doesn't want to do it, she's lame. So
yeah, and if any of you, that's the other thing. If any of you ever offer, like, say to a girl, hey, we're going to go treasure hunting, and she says, like, I don't want to do that. Literally, like, I would almost say, like, I don't know if murder is a strong, because normally I'm very much in, like,
you're enjoying
very
being
much a libertarian.
Today, aren't you?
No, I would say she's terrible and deserves to die. It's like death penalty. There's almost nothing that I would say is worthy of the death penalty, or like abusing someone else or assaulting someone else. But I think not being into geocaching might be. All right. Fuck this podcast. Fuck this piece of shit. I love you guys, though.
Go crush your goals.